Hello everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us again. Today we continue the heartfelt story of Jack and Ly Tu Tien. In the last episode, Jack proudly introduced Tu Tien to his friends, showing how deeply he treasures her. Now as Tu Tien is carrying their child, let's see what happens next in their journey of love. The summer morning was warm and bright. The sun slowly climbed above the mountains, spreading golden rays across the quiet village. The air was alive with the sound of birds singing and the steady flow of the stream nearby. Children's laughter echoed faintly from afar, mixing with the buzzing of cicadas in the trees. Wooden houses rested peacefully at the edge of the valley, and everything seemed calm and timeless. Inside their small wooden home, Tu Tien sat by the window. The warm breeze carried the scent of wildflowers and grass into the room. She gently placed her hand on her belly, feeling the tiny heartbeat of the life growing inside. Her lips curved into a smile filled with joy and hope. She remembered the day Jack introduced her to his friends. The pride in his voice, the light in his eyes, it made her feel loved, valued, and safe. That memory stayed in her heart like a treasure. But this day held something new, something that would make her love for Jack even stronger. After breakfast, Jack quietly picked up a large cloth bag. Inside were warm meal boxes, bottles of fresh water, and some ripe fruit he had bought from the market. He turned to Tu Tien, his expression gentle, his eyes shining. "Today," he said softly, "I want to bring these to the poor people in town. Would you like to come with me?" Tu Tien's heart warmed instantly. She nodded with a smile and reached for his hand. Together, they stepped outside, walking down the narrow dirt path that led toward the marketplace. The summer sun poured down bright and golden. The air shimmered slightly in the heat, and their shadows stretched long on the ground. Along the way, they passed farmers returning from the fields, children chasing each other with cheerful cries, and the smell of grilled corn from a roadside stall. Life seemed so ordinary, yet so full of warmth. When they reached the old marketplace, Tu Tien's smile slowly faded. Beneath the broken roofs and abandoned stalls, several homeless people sat quietly. Their clothes were torn, their skin darkened by the sun. Some leaned against the wall with tired eyes, trying to hide in the little shade available. The heat of the day pressed down, but what weighed heavier was the sadness in their faces. Jack stepped forward without hesitation. He knelt down gently, placed a food box and a bottle of water in front of an old man, and spoke kindly. "Here, sir, please eat something to get your strength back. And drink this water, it's hot today." His voice was calm but full of care. The man looked up, eyes wet with tears. He reached out with trembling hands, whispering words of thanks. Jack smiled softly, patted his shoulder, and moved on to the next person. Tu Tien watched from a short distance. Tears filled her eyes, her heart swelling with emotion. Every simple action of Jack carried such deep meaning. He didn't just give food, he gave respect, kindness, and dignity. She placed her hand on her belly and whispered to her unborn child, "My dear, do you see, your father is a man of compassion. He doesn't only love me and you, but he shares his heart with those who have so little. You will grow up learning kindness because kindness is what surrounds you." The sunlight caught Jack's face, highlighting his gentle smile. He handed fruit to a thin little boy, wiped the dirt from his cheek, and patted his head. The boy's shy smile blossomed into laughter, like sunshine breaking through clouds. Jack's heart lifted at the sight, and for a brief moment, he thought back to his own childhood days, when life was not always easy, and when a stranger's kindness had once given him hope. Perhaps in giving today, he was also honoring that memory. As Jack moved from one person to another, Tu Tien's tears slipped down her cheeks. She could not stand still any longer. She walked up to him, her hand trembling as it reached for his. Jack looked at her and saw the emotion in her eyes. He squeezed her hand gently, silently sharing the moment. No words were needed. Their hearts spoke in unison. When the food and water were all given away, the couple sat under the shade of a large tree nearby. The leaves rustled softly in the warm breeze, and cicadas sang endlessly in the heat of summer. Jack turned to Tu Tien, his hand resting gently on her belly. His voice was quiet, but firm, full of love. Tu Tien, I don't have gold or silver to give you, but I promise I will raise our child with all the love I have. Not only for our little family, but also for those who need kindness. That is the life I want us to share. Tu Tien leaned her head on his shoulder, tears glistening in her eyes. She smiled through them, knowing that this man beside her was her greatest blessing. As the day wore on, the sun began to set, painting the sky in deep shades of orange and red. The mountains glowed in the evening light, and the air cooled slightly. The couple walked back to their small wooden home, their steps light, their hands clasped tightly together. Inside the house, the lamp glowed softly, filling the room with warm yellow light. On the table, the cloth bag lay empty, but in their hearts, joy and peace overflowed. Jack came up behind Tu Tien and wrapped his arms around her. His embrace was strong, carrying love, gratitude, and a promise. Tu Tien closed her eyes and let herself sink into his warmth. She realized then that true happiness was not in wealth, but in the kindness Jack carried in his heart. For a moment, it felt like the world had stopped. Only love existed, gentle, unshakable, eternal. But just as they were lost in this quiet happiness, an unexpected sound broke the silence. The old wooden door creaked loudly. A sudden gust of summer wind blew into the room, carrying with it an uneasy chill. Tu Tien opened her eyes wide, her heart racing. She looked at Jack, her expression filled with worry. Jack turned slowly toward the door, his eyes sharp, his body tense. Outside in the fading light of dusk, a shadowy figure appeared on the path. The figure stood still, silent, watching them from a distance. The look in their eyes was cold, unreadable, as if hiding a secret. The night grew darker. The warm summer evening no longer felt safe. Their happiness was real, but perhaps it was about to be tested. What was waiting for Jack and Tu Tien beyond this quiet summer night?
Trong căn nhà nhỏ, Tu Tien ngồi bên cửa sổ, gió mang hương hoa dại lên lỏi vào từng khe cửa, khẽ lay động tà áo cô. Bàn tay cô đặt lên bụng nơi sinh linh bé nhỏ đang hình thành, mang lại một niềm vui hạnh phúc tràn đầy. Sau lần được Jack đưa đi gặp gỡ bạn bè, trái tim Tu Tien càng vững tin vào tình yêu và sự lựa chọn của mình. Ánh mắt Jack hôm ấy có cái cách anh giới thiệu cô với những người thân quen khiến cô cảm thấy được trân trọng, được nâng niu. Và hôm nay tình yêu ấy lại được thắp sáng bằng một hành động giản dị nhưng đầy ý nghĩa.